It is once again that time of the year. The battle for Seelow Heights has been updated, and I must play. Japan, 1945. Not the best of times, so yeah, let's see if we can avert the glorious death of the 100 million, shall we? I'll leave Iron Man mode off because this mod does have some rough edges that might need smoothing out, but other than that, we're good to go. The setting sun, so it begins. Strategic overview. We have the allies coming in from both Burma as well as the Pacific, which is going to hurt. We have a China problem that we haven't solved yet, but I don't think that's going to be a major issue. And then the big problem is Joseph Stalin is going to come for our buttholes unless we get really lucky and can avert that problem.
Hold on to your butt.
So, on to the rest of the mess. We have some national spirits you might be familiar with. State Shintoism, very cool, very nice. Unfortunately, the sun is setting, and our army is not looking too hot. These are terrible. The terror bombing devastation is terrible. There goes our industry. Our industry is gone. Then we have a couple of minor bonuses. Shogo, Ichigo. Oh, the defeat of Leyte Gulf. It would be nice to have a navy. Unfortunately, we're Japan, right? Well, and then the Imperial Japanese Army. Okay, we also have a new reworked focus tree. All of these are short 7 or 14 day focuses, mostly aimed at steering towards a historical outcome. None of these are particularly amazing. What I am going to aim for is renewing the Soviet Neutrality Pact. Holy shit, I need Stalin to sign this thing, and I need him to sign it quickly, so let's head towards that. Other than that, we need to do some construction. Yeah, I'm thinking radar here on Okinawa. That will allow us to cover this sea zone, and I have some shenanigans planned with it. And after that, dockyards. I will need dockyards. I really will need dockyards. So we'll build about 5 of those and then just follow it with a bunch of mills. I'm going to be building in northern Japan instead of the south because Chugoku and Kyushu have Nagasaki and Hiroshima. I know my history, and I know I don't want to have a factory in Nagasaki. No. Other than that, research. We got a lot of slots, but I'm thinking we focus on improving the things we already have instead of trying to develop new capabilities. We're gonna be fucked either way, so let's try to, keep the getting fucked to a minimum. Let's make sure our guns are better, our artillery's better. Other cool stuff that we might have use for are these things. Advanced fire control so that the navy we do have can be more effective, and might as well pick up the night vision. All right, that's the basics done. Factories, we're gonna need a lot of guns, artillery, support equipment. We will need a few trucks. I will not be making light tanks. Fuck that. The Navy will finish off the 2 carriers, but not the cruisers. All right. Zeros, we'll be making those. A couple of casts, and then the Kawasaki medium airframes. We might make mediums later, but not now. As for the Zeros we are making now, I'll also change these around. Most of the stuff is going to happen off screen, but we'll be using the range focus aircraft designer because I want to do some memery. I'm going to strip off the cannons and we're going to slap on torpedoes. These are not great airplanes by any standard, but they will be functional enough for the task that I require of them. There we go. We'll simply start converting these on the cheap. And we will now be making every single airplane we do currently have. So we have about 2,000, well, maybe not 1,000, about 1,000 fighters all together. And we will be converting them into this new model fighter. Now, with that new fighter design, we'll be taking the 900 or so we have in stockpile here, and we'll start converting them. And we'll using them as budget naval bombers to fend off the American Navy. Clever, I know. All right, we're going to pause here for a second, folks. Before we dive back into this madness, I've got something genuinely cool to share with you. Today's video is sponsored by Heroes of History, a free-to-play strategy game where you build your own city, collect legendary historical figures, and yeah, team up with folks like Einstein and Tesla. Save the future. It's one of those city builders meets squad battle type games, but the twist is you're collecting historical figures, like actual legends. Here's Blackbeard, and yeah, that's a beast. And they've got this portal mechanic that's kind of like cracking packs in old card games. You never know what you'll get, and the gamble's half the fun. Now, the cool part is the team strategy. You got to figure out how your heroes complement each other. Classes, roles, abilities. Like here, I've got Anne Bonny running support for Blackbeard, and she's out here straight up disintegrating enemy squads. Also, your city evolves over time from the Bronze Age up through future tech. There's a whole progression loop that makes it feel like you're unlocking an alternate timeline, but with Einstein and Tesla tagging along. Now, if that sounds like your kind of vibe, I've dropped a link down in the description. It's free, runs in your browser or on mobile, and honestly, it's a fun side grind. Anyway, back to the main video. Right, political power, a lot of stuff being... We have so much to do. Start by scraping the barrel. We're gonna go down to all adult serf. I don't need that much manpower anyway, because I have a neat little trick. We have 1 million manpower now, and we'll lose a lot of it. However, I can find a great amount of Chinese willing to serve as long as I point a gun at them. Prince of Terror. We suddenly have an extra 1 million worth of manpower, and we will get more decisions we can take. That is 3% population. I'll grab it now along with the war bonds, and then the rest of the political power we'll hold on to. We gotta find a way to get ourselves some stability, so that's gonna be a big deal. I could get political loyalty. It would give us a lot of stability, but bold attack would give us better generals. Right now though, stability is gonna be the bigger deal, so we'll grab that. Puts us on 50. It's a little close, but you know, and then we'll also grab state serves the military. I prefer tip of the spear. I really prefer tip of the spear. We can switch out to this later. We'll get what state serves the military. It will reduce the penalty for stability from being at war, at least in an offensive war. So now we're positive for stability, and we'll grab the logistic focus. And all the way down here, infiltration and depth, finish out the tree. Special forces, we're gonna go big on Marines. I love Marines, so they will be the thing we need. So we can either go with shore parties or we can go with jungle specialists. I think jungle specialists are the way to go. Considering we're gonna have a lot of jungles in this area, and I can find other ways to get the amphibious bonus. If I want to start doing my naval landings, I'll probably have enough naval experience by then to switch out. So the first battles are gonna be in jungle for the most part, I think. So the pioneers can come in handy there. Now for the elephant in the room in every run, templates. So we have, let's actually check the army. 219 divisions, not bad. I'm guessing a lot of different templates. So Hohai Shidan, Chuto Shidan. Yeah, like a bunch of different templates. So Hohai Shidan looks like this, which is too big. Chugota Hohai Shidan. This is actually what I would prefer to use, though. I would strip cavalry recon out and replace it with something else, or just strip it completely. This is garbage, which I will not be using. And then there is these garrison troops, which are not the best, I should say. Not the best. And then finally the Marines. We'll do something with the Marines. Okay, so first off, these guys are going to be my mainline unit. I'm going to strip out the recon. It'll cost us a little bit of soft attack. I recognize this, but these will be just fine, and they'll be considerably cheaper than anything else. It's going to save up a lot of equipment and support equipment. Then the Hohai Shidan, I will convert all of these guys to the original template I just made. So these guys are going to be my shovel boys, my frontline unit. These guys I will switch out, but I've got enough army experience to just make this change as well. The reason I'm doing this is because this change also applies to divisions that are currently encircled. It's a bit of a cheesy gimmick that allows you to still recover equipment and manpower from encircled divisions, because if you delete them, you lose all the equipment and just get like 20% of the manpower back, and you cannot change the template of a unit that's encircled, but you can change the actual template that the unit currently is. So this will recover some manpower and infantry equipment at least, and I can also strip that out. So it's a small change, but All right, and then we'll take the Marines up here. We'll be using big fat stacks of Marines. Hopefully they will perform as expected. I'm gonna go big on artillery. I will have very few Marines, 30 combat width, so we'll tinker around with the combat width as we go. We'll use relatively low numbers of Marines, but I think the ones that we do use will end up being good, I hope. Yeah, we'll try to use these to the best of our abilities. We're going to add field hospitals to these guys so that they will at least retain some of their veterancy status. Anyway, that is the templates done. All right, we have drawn up our battle plans, withdrawn our units, so I'll give you the cliff notes real quick. Defensive action in Burma to stall the British. Highly aggressive attacks on the coastal territories of China to wipe out these pockets and then consolidate and push towards Chongqing. Up north, I am putting an army here in reserve to anticipate whatever the fuck Stalin's gonna do. Islands, we are abandoning every single island except for the ones we need, like Marcus Island, Iwo Jima, Okinawa, we need those islands to get rid of terror bombing. So we need to control Okinawa, Iwo Jima, Taiwan, Luzon, Marcus Island, and Sichuan, which is the capital of China right now. So if we can control those territories at the same time, we get rid of terror bombing. We also have several missions up here, which I forgot to touch upon. These will help us immensely. So the South China air raid is going to wear off and our navy is not going to be shit anymore. After which we have the second battle of Huangxi, which I started here, the second Huangxi campaign. It's a decision you can take. This starts a timer. You now have 30 days to capture the marked territory, which is oddly enough not Huangxi. No, I need to capture Nanning. I don't know why. If we succeed, the national spirit setting sun gets a little less bad and we don't lose war support. If we fail, we lose war support. Same up here. Allied Liberation of the Philippines is a timed mission that automatically pops up in certain dates. It tells us hold Mindanao and or Luzon, and you get more stability, more war support, and the national spirit gets better. If you fail, well, get fucked. So we have to make sure that we hold on to either Luzon or Mindanao. Either works, we're just not allowed to lose both. We're about to unpause, and things are going to get spicy.
Ah, fire! Ah, it burns! It burns!
Well, no point putting it off any further. Let's just start the suck. I'm gonna start slow game speed because I have a lot of minor stuff to settle for. I'm gonna try and extract as many units from this place as I can. The unit here, the Rock of the Marne division, tends to leave. Like I see here, they're leaving. So that usually means I can take this infantry unit, take it to Port of Hollandia. I could recover then those 4 units. Over here, I'm gonna fight my way towards Rabaul, hold the port with this unit, extract these 3 units. Everyone else is leaving. These guys, there's no point in keeping them here. Might as well delete them, recover the manpower. We must take the city or the tile of Nanning. That's vital for the mission. And over here, oh, full-on aggression mode. Attack, 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 attack. Kill, 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 kill. We have to reduce the Chinese pockets to nothing. Okay, so over here, the Americans have decided to leave. So I'll take Dagupan off them. Over here, we are going to be able to take Manila. If the Americans leave Calapan as well, I can probably attack there. Which reminds me, they're leaving here as well. Meaning, I could probably take... I just need to... Oh, I need to do everything at once. Encircle and destroy, encircle and destroy, encircle and destroy. That's the name of the game here. We have to keep encircling and destroying enemy forces. Alright, Dagupan has been recovered. The Americans are willing to leave this place as well. I can take Samar off the Philippines. Over here, we're probably going to get there in time to get the port. So 2 days and 13 hours, and you're going to get there in 1 day and 22 hours. Guess what? Pinning attack. Alright, we've taken Nanning. That means the second Battle of Huangxi is complete. I thought it would improve the setting sun spirits. It said it would, but maybe I just misread it. In any case, that is 1 battle complete, and now we move on to the next. We can do Henan-Hubei or West Hunan counteroffensive, which would require us to retake this part. First though, let's just focus on cleaning up the big old pockets there. Honestly, if I can just stabilize the initial situation, maybe... just maybe we can get out of this in one piece. All right, Dutch East Indies have capped. That means, huzzah! We have taken Hollandia. Let's get the fuck out of here, shall we? Next up, redeploy the Kwantung Army East. At least this bit of China is getting its ass handed to it quite handily. All right, I'm gonna start deploying some of my new air wings. I've specifically marked these new fighters with the torpedo launchers out. They got the nice bald eagle. American Bald Eagle, specialized air wings. And we're gonna start... Could do naval strikes, or I could do naval patrols. I think we'll just do naval strikes. I got stuff out there spotting anyway. And then later on, if we live long enough, I'll design some sort of medium seaplane, some sort of seaplane to do some actual spotting, so my strike force can get out there and pummel the enemy into submission. Or be pummeled into submission. It's gonna depend on how things turn out. Please don't hurt my asshole. All right, let's also start kissing up to Stalin. Let's see if we can get relations up. I don't know if it matters. I don't know how the mod makes the decisions, but I would very much like to have the best shot at this possible. Okay, so we're gonna start attacking the Filipinos over here. We want to control these islands fully. All right, so a little bit of good news at least. I've managed to get everyone out of Papua New Guinea. Well, except for these guys, but they'll bravely fight their way to Rabaul. They'll get out, hopefully. We've got the Philippines on the ropes. If I could just defeat the American Marines here, we'll have the entire island. Well, almost the entire island. There is still this section here to consider. All right, so that will secure the Philippines for us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have liftoff. Stalin has confirmed the neutrality pact remains in force for now. This will buy us time, precious time. Also, the Philippines have capitulated, so oh my god, we are in the golden run. All right, with that said, I guess we can focus on the real enemy, whoever has boats. So we'll finish our advanced carriers, rebuild the first air fleet, and then scramble for Chongqing. We are going to make Chiang Kai-shek get Chiang Kai wrecked. All right, so the Philippines have been retaken. There goes the Alta conference. So 1 day before the conference, we got Stalin to sign the deal. Thank fuck for that. That means he's not gonna blow up the deal. That means he gets to be our friend for a little while longer. And if things get really cheesy, I might actually be able to get some lend-lease out of him. On to the next main event. I think we've got this whole thing condensed to like one big coastal pocket. Just attack, attack, attack. Our units have the quality edge as well as the air edge. So in terms of, well, everything, we should be more than a match for whatever the Chinese have. At a glance, I would say the Germans are not long for this world. They're putting up a fight. Let's start the West Hunan counteroffensive. Huzzah! This should allow us to seize the province of Hunan from them, I believe. Got another attack bonus. If we can do that within 50 days, we get another reduction to the setting sun. Alright, we can finish the Unryuyu class. Yes, we will be rebuilding the first air fleet, because that's the only air fleet I have. How's the repairs going? The repairs are going. Let's start speeding the game up a little bit, because I have managed to extract the units I wanted to extract. I've secured the Philippines. There's a massive lull in Borneo, which I assume has something to do with the fact that they are still very busy fighting elsewhere. So for the time being, this area is more or less secured. And the Chinese are very much on the back foot, so they are being hounded every which way. So with a little luck, we can actually secure the mainland before America comes and eats my ass raw. All right, first air fleet rebuilt. Let's start the scramble for Chongqing. 7 days gives us the mission to seize Chongqing. I think we can do it. It gives us about a 130-day timer to get to Chongqing. Considering the state of the Chinese lines, as soon as we can get that pocket to crumble and fully commit to the attack, I think we can knock China down a peg. I can also start the Henan-Hubei counteroffensive to really put a spring in my step. Just push, 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 push. Alright, scramble for Chongqing, along with the fall of, 120 days. If we succeed, Chiang Kai-shek surrenders, and we get stability and war support. I like having stability and war support, so we are going in on that. We are going to go for the offensive. We're going to give it a try. And that is the last of the Chinese coastal holdouts. We are pushing China back. Seriously. With minimal... Stalin? We had a deal. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me! Anyway, that's 50 Chinese divisions about to disappear here on the coast. They had a good run. It's over. And the naval invasions are starting. Fortunately, I did build a couple of forts here, so these guys should be able to hold out. So I've done like 3 missions that supposedly improve the setting sun. I've not seen a single improvement. Methinks it's a little bit bugged. The fall of Berlin. Well, guess we're in the end game now. 60 days to seize Chongqing. I'm like 2 tiles away. Come on. Weapons for the masses. 20,000 guns will be very welcome considering I'm almost short 40,000 of them. Boy, is the industry not looking too hot today. It's not looking too hot at all. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The Greater German Reich wants to join my faction. Welcome aboard, the Erich Raeder. I do think you're gone, though. Let's just press the button here. Historical Cold War borders. No, well, I guess you're gone. it is all Jover for Raider. That means I am about to be taking quite the beating, and Borneo is under siege. All right, fine. Let's click the Cold War borders. Click, bada bing, bada boom. Let's see, and what does Borneo give me? It just spawns troops on these ports. I have troops in the area. They should be able to maybe reinforce in time. I don't have reserves available for this, so yeah, it's just fucked either way. There's just not much I can do about this. I'll just make sure I can start convoy raiding like these areas, so at least that they don't get to keep using the ports. My focus now is Chongqing. Please give me Chongqing. Oh, it's so close. I can smell it. I can taste victory, and it is sweet, sweet victory. Chongqing secured. Chiang Kai-shek surrenders. Now, who's next? Oh, yes. Unfortunately, the warlords are not going to give up. However, this gives me an idea. You see, I can't trust Stalin because he already broke the deal I went through so much trouble securing. What I can do is go to manage subjects, occupied territories, and release the Republic of China as a puppet. I'll just retain my cores, I guess. What that would do is give up quite a bit of China, namely all of China. But, and here's the big one, we would very much like to have China's factories. So if we unpause and let the game update, we should have access to more factories this way. And we should be able to secure more of, there we go. More factories are now online, and we should be able to trade with the Chinese for a very large amount of factories this way. This is good. This is really, really good for us. This ensures that even if Stalin, in his infinite wisdom, decides to come for my butthole, I know that via event he declares war on us, Manchukuo and Menkukuo, but he doesn't declare war on China. So even if I lose Manchuria, I can probably stage a holding action in North Korea, and I would retain most of China if I can guard the ports to it. That would give me not just satisfaction, but it would also give me an opportunity to properly defend myself in this region without really having to worry too much. Now, I can also take one of these armies away from the main front, because, well, there is no more main front, it's just the warlords that need mopping up, and I can start garrisoning the coastline so that we can at least protect some of this from the inevitable tide of naval invasions coming for us. Oh, that reminds me. Yes, it's gone! My industry has roared back to life. The Allied terror bombing has stopped. That means I can actually make equipment again. Plus, I believe several of these events have now timed out, meaning the setting sun is not quite as terrible as it was. Still not good, but it's not quite as terrible as it was, and I think we've won here as well. And you're not going to believe this, with that influx of guns, we now suddenly no longer have a deficit. Imagine, well, we still need artillery and everything else, but yeah, we no longer have a gun deficit because we're not occupying China. China. Unfortunately, they're pushing into the further reaches of China up there, which is annoying. I've destroyed so much of the Chinese army. It's so good to be back. Operation Mop Up in China is almost done. China. And then we can have a peace deal, I think. We might be able to get a peace deal out of this, yeah. Uh-oh. I may have patrolled my way into an aircraft carrier group, but it's unescorted aircraft carriers. Let's go! Let's get the main fleet in there. Get the main fleet in there. This is like the jackpot. If I can kill these two carriers, that's two carriers, not any screening. If I can get my main fleet... Of course, the main fleet engages submarines. Not the juicy price up there. No. They went for... Oh, well, at least I damaged them, I guess. Now, I wish I wasn't perpetually being bombed to hell and back again, because there's a whole lot of bombing going on in the home islands. Not a whole lot I can do about that. I've got fighters up. They're restricting like half the bombing, but those B-29s, I think they're coming from the Soviet Union. They're really hurting me. Oh, they've given up and rolled over. In that case, the Republic of China can now get its cores back because I'm not holding on to this on my own. Let's just give all of this back to the Republic of China and they can deal with the occupation and the ensuing mess, and everything will be right with the world once again. Confirm and exit. Look at that beautiful, beautiful map. The Republic of China. China. China and Japan hand in hand to victory, or at least very slowly towards defeat. And I guess this is how it ends. Via event. I did all of this, including kissing Stalin's ass so hard that it is quite shiny by now. I will surrender. What is the point of this mod if you're just gonna make me forcibly surrender? So I've done some reading. I now know why I'm surrendering. It's because I no longer directly control large parts of China. Long story short, creating the Republic of China is a good idea. After this event. Aha, you thought I was made of weak stuff, but I am not. I am made of sterner stuff, and I went back and redid it all the way up to this point where Hirohito wishes to surrender. But this time, we've played our cards differently. Hirohito can wish to surrender all he wants, but this time, surrender be damned. Do something against this folly. And with this glorious coup, there will no longer be a desire for peace. And with that out of the way, we can mop up. After this point, we can actually kill off China. There, the armistice cabinet is ousted. There will be no armistice today. Drive them, men! Drive them to Chongqing! To victory! So good news, because the game crashed. We're back here September 1st, 1945. Yeah, modded games are horrendously unstable. That does give me the foresight of seeing that there's a naval invasion here and pressing last stand. And we're also going to preempt this whole thing by canceling these repair tasks and getting on with business. And over here, again, we need to retake Chongqing, so some downsides. Alright, Chiang Kai-shek surrenders again. Alright, who's next? So with that, we're going to do the whole thing again. Just release of fucking China, we'll roll with it, yada yada yada. Retain states at our core. Boom. Chinese puppet. No surrender. No retreat. Well, I've royally cocked up. I forgot to move. Well, forgot. My timing was off. Didn't do everything quite on time. And now the Garde Chinoise has risen up. So now it got a smaller uprising than I'd feared. But it's still there nonetheless. It's going to be annoying. It's fine. I'll just use the Marines to deal with it. Alright, time for an executive decision. The Philippines have nothing of value to me. And they're essentially a massive sink of equipment and manpower. We're retasking those units to the East Indies. And America can have this place. I don't want it anymore. I just don't want it anymore. No garrison. You want it so bad, come and claim it. I've taken the benefit of defending the Philippines already. I am leaving.
We are leaving!
In any case, we're making gains in Burma as well. We've slowly been able to push north with the Marines and just numbers leveraging to train. That's going well. Over there, Ma is almost out of the running. At least I hope they are. This is one painful push so far. It's January 1946. I've lasted 1 year. I've sunk more ships than I've lost. I haven't found the main battle fleets yet, but we've done our part as far as the Navy is concerned. We have secured mainland China. We have managed to sign a deal with Stalin that he's not going to invade. So we are solid. We're good. Let's just get this over with. And we have the reserves to defend the home islands should anything go awry. Ooh, that's a good engagement. I lost one destroyer. Like I said, I needed a fight with that main battle fleet and we got it. So I lost a destroyer, a submarine. I've sunk a carrier, 2 battleships, 22 destroyers, and 2 heavy cruisers. I'd say that's a win. And there goes the Chinese United Front. I'm just going to sign everything over to the Republic of China so I don't have to worry about it. They got cores there anyway, unless they changed that in the mod. I don't think they did, so bada bing, bada boom, confirm and exit. We're done. One more enemy reduced to not an enemy. And with that, we have the mainland under control. I got my reserves here. We're going to push into India next. The Marines lead the charge. And once we get more Marines, we can push further into India. We can push past the jungle here, overrun India, occupy the whole damn thing, and move on with our lives. I have an opportunity in Burma to do something incredibly funny. I'm going to see if I can push my Marines north. And in so doing, cut this entire section off from the Allied front. Why would I do this? Well, mostly because it's funny. And anything that is funny is worth doing. So we're going to try that. Plus, it opens up the way into... Oh, that's Italian troops. No, Mexicans. It would open up the way into India proper, giving me a chance to strike at the enemy. Just about open the way into India proper. Good. With India out of action... China secured and the threat of invasion gone from Russia. I just hope it remains. Oh yeah. So in theory, this should never trigger. See, this is what usually happens. Stalin does the invasion of Manchuria mission here, which basically gives you a 90-day timer, after which he declares war on you, Manchukuo, and Manchukuo. So no cheesing it. However, because he signed that initial deal and it says Japanese-Soviet neutrality pact saved up there, it will constantly abort. So he'll try the mission and abort, try it, abort, and hopefully never actually declare war. Battle for Okinawa. Really? Oh yeah, no bueno. It's no bueno. Do I have reserves? I don't really have reserves. I might actually lose part of Okinawa. I could trigger Operation Tengo, but I am not really interested in losing the Yamato. The odds of losing the Yamato are slightly too big. So we're not doing that. Now, what I could do is simply raid the shit out of this one sea zone here and make them really, really regret picking a fight with me. Victory or death, unleash the kamikaze. I'll take the kamikaze. And with the Navy actively engaging the transports, I think we'll be fine. Ooh, 30 transports sunk. That's gonna hurt the fleet. Oh, that is hurting them. Look at them go, look at them go. That is what I'm talking about. Yeah! 22 Brigada Agrarista. Those are Mexican peasants dying in Assam. Oh, world wars are funny. God, this is turning into a naval combat highlights. Another aircraft carrier. We've caught them with their pants down. We've caught them without their screens. And they are ready to be bloodied here. What do we sink? What do we sink? Come on, show me. A carrier, a heavy cruiser, a light cruiser, and a destroyer, and all it cost me was airplanes. So, as unfortunately expected, they did manage to take part of Okinawa. Now I'm holding on to the important bit of the islands, and I'm getting my Marines over there so we can retake it. The Navy's back out with a vengeance, swinging my big Yamato around. Hopefully they can sink some of the enemy. As for India, we have breached the cordon, and it does seem that there's just not that much left. Oh, and that elite navy is taking the enemy to task. So the spotter found the enemy fleet. The main navy is engaging and frankly tearing them a new one. Look at the casualties here. And we found their weakened navy. We can pounce on their 4 unescorted carriers and sink them. There we go. 4 carriers. The Lexington, the Wasp, the Intrepid, and carrier CV2. Okay then. Yes. This Navy. I love the Navy. I just love the Navy. Oh, doing so well. The war in Asia has turned entirely. We are about to deal a crushing blow to the Raj, putting us up against the borders of Iran. Stalin is still, I don't know, twiddling his thumbs for some reason. He's not interested in war. That's it. The death of the Raj. We just need to mop up and set a front line against Iran. Well, the holdouts in India are putting up one hell of a fight. They've managed to kill 4 of my divisions somehow. Well, shit. Despite all that, sinking the entire, well, most of the US and allied navies, they're still throwing shit at Japan! Just stop! I got 25,000 free guns, so this actually triggered Operation Downfall. Yeah, I'll hit Operation Ketsugo. Let's trigger the glorious death of the 100 million. Not actually expecting to lose 100... I would hope not to lose 100 million men in this, but yeah, let's give it a go. Yeah, I'm gonna lose Okinawa now because these guys apparently pull supplies straight out of their ass. How? How are you doing this? I have lost Okinawa, so I'll need to bring my Marines in to recover it. Alright, glorious reconquest of Okinawa. Of course, the moment I hit the port, there's 7 divisions on it. Should still be able to make it work. As for India, most of it's been mopped up, but well, the allies who have not really been spending a lot of land forces, other than the US, nobody's really made ground contact with me. We've retaken Okinawa. It's taken us, unfortunately, the life of one of our channel members. I'm terribly, terribly sorry. It was a sacrifice that needed being made. China is also at peak power. Well, getting there. 37 divisions. It has 19 mils, 56 civs. It's pumping out troops, and it's actually able to secure its own coast. So Italy did manage to land troops, but now there's enough Chinese, other Chinese, and even Russian, well, Soviet troops here to clean up the mess. So I realistically don't have to, which is great because I don't want to. But we've taken Japan 1945 from being on the cusp of defeat. I've beaten China. I've beaten India. I've managed to hold on to the East Indies, though I admit I just barely lost the Dutch East Indies when I was not looking for a minute, but I can get those back. It's not a big deal. I've cajoled Stalin into peace. He's just not declaring war on me. He's in fact helping China. If nothing else, this should be a white peace. A negotiated settlement. I don't know what the fuck Paradox wants to do, but I am not playing another minute of late game Hoi with the numbers involved and having to capitulate the United States of America. At this point, Japan and the Allies would have a sit down at a negotiating table. Anyway, hope you guys at least enjoyed my descent into madness and the video. Hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.